and welcome to another Chelsea chat. It's international break, and a couple of people have said to me, can you give us your take on any possible point deduction after Everton were deducted 10 points yesterday for financial fair play indiscretions, and also on Conor Gallagher. So first of all, are we going to get deducted 10 points? Not sure if it'll be 10, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got a 3 or a 6. Don't think there's any chance of relegation or anything like some of the ridiculous online magazines and some of the ridiculous blogs that I've read online and some of the vlogs I've watched. I can't see that. And the reason I can't see that, and yes, it looks like Roman was a little bit woe with the finances. Who would have guessed? But the thing is, when Bowley and co took over, they brought in a forensic accountant. They put £100 million aside for any potential fines or any sort of money loss because of sanctions or whatever. So they put that money aside. So even if Chelsea do get a points deduction and don't make Champions League or Europe, there's money aside that shouldn't affect the way the club works. So well done them. Now when they did that forensic accounting, they went to UEFA and they notified the Premier League that they didn't think everything was as it should be. Unlike Manchester City. Now, what I will say is Everton, who have just been deducted 10 points very unfairly, to my way of thinking, because they've been working for 2 years with the Premier League, open disclosure, transparent, everything to try and get their books in order. And I think to work with them and then take 10 points off them is pretty disgusting. So where does that leave us? Well, we've already been fined by UEFA £8.6 million, 10 million euros, because of financial indiscretions, because of using offshore bank accounts not connected with the club but connected with the former owner that paid for things like Conte. His agent was given a backhander or a golden handshake to get Conte to join the club. Several players have also had their agents given golden handshakes to join the club. And so it goes on. So yeah, most of these are already out in the open. I think it's only because they've already been fined for those between the 2012-13 season onwards, and they can't go back further than that. So we've paid the £8.6 million, and if we get fined again for those, or we get a points deduction for those, that's like, I don't know, that's like going to High Court and getting a 12-year prison sentence for litter, and then going to the Magistrates Court a year later and getting another 2 months for the same offence. It just doesn't seem right. Now, Chelsea's board, Chelsea's legal team would argue that it was a former owner. It's got nothing to do with the club now. The club now have been transparent. They've paid their dues, and they would submit that it'd be really unfair for us to get a points deduction. Whether anything went on between 2020 and the sale of the club, and apparently it has. You got the Guardian and another couple of newspapers who have looked into it and apparently have got evidence. Then different ball game, I suppose. But then we also don't know if Bowley and Co also disclosed those post-2020 payments. They may well have done. So all these journalists would appear to just be grabbing at straws to try and get a story. Manchester City didn't disclose anything, and they've been charged with 115 charges. I would personally be more worried if I was a City supporter than being a Chelsea supporter, although to be fair, I am a little bit worried. Team just putting itself together, and You don't want a points deduction, do you? But it is what it is, and I think the contingency plans are there just in case it happens. So do I think we'll get a points deduction? Personally, I think we probably will. I think Everton yesterday, although they're appealing, 10 points is savage. Absolutely savage for a club that's been transparent about financial fair play. If we're then found to have, our old owners are found to have hidden payments that are against the rules of the game, yes, we probably will. I think it'll be taken into consideration that we've already paid 8.6 million quid for the same offences, and I think it must be taken into consideration that we've got new ownership, and during that ownership takeover, we were put through hell anyway. But we'll have to see. So that's my thoughts. Yes, I think we might, if found guilty, and we have got a great legal team. To be fair, if it's the one thing the Americans can do, it's can fight a court case, and so yeah, I think we could, but I think it'll be maybe 3 or 6 points. Own personal opinion. Don't know. Let me know what you think of my reasoning. Let me know what you think, full stop. That's why I do these, and it's particularly why I've done this one. Conor Gallagher, right, the guy at the moment has got the best midfield stats in European football. His contract runs out in June 2025, so there's no immediate hurry. He can't go on a free at the end of this season, but the club are very, very slow again. If you're to believe reports about Emma Hayes, she wanted to stay at Chelsea initially, but this Paul Winstanley dragged his feet and dragged his knuckles. An offer came along that she felt was too good to turn down, and let's face it, she probably felt a little bit disrespected by Chelsea. I would have done. So let's hope the same thing don't happen with Conor Gallagher as happened with Emma Hayes and Mason Mount before. They've not gone to the table with him for a contract extension. I know someone that works for Elite who are actually managers of Conor Gallagher, and they said to me over a pint not so long ago that he's not very chuffed with the way the club have treated him. They wanted to sell him. They wanted to sell him right up until the last minute of the last transfer window, and it's believed that if we're going to bring a big forward in, the one that might have to go, pure profit, I hate that phrase, academy, pure profit, might be Conor Gallagher. That's why we've got Lavia in the wings, and we've got a wealth of talent in that midfield, even to come back off of loan players that we've bought. So I wouldn't be shocked to see Conor Gallagher go. I'd be gutted, but no, I wouldn't be shocked. I think there's a combination of things. A young man who looks at social media, and they all do, and he got, same as Mason Mount, he got absolutely hate from a lot of supporters out there. Now, I questioned whether he could go up a level, whether he had the quality to be a consistent Chelsea first teamer. Hands up, I didn't know. I said I didn't know. Some games I watched him and I thought, yeah, he's got it. Other games, no. But under Poch, he's sorted his game out. He's made him think more. I think he just widened his sort of horizons. And he looks a different player, doesn't he? You know, you don't need me to tell you that. And I think, personally, if he goes to Liverpool or Manchester City or Barcelona, who are all said to be interested, I think it'll be a big loss for us and a big gain for them. But I say, you got all that hate. Even some of the people now on Twitter who say, oh, you got to sign him up. You got to sign him up. Go back a year on their Twitter feeds. Because I have. And have a look. Have a look at those that said, oh, I told you he had it in him. They didn't. They wanted him gone. And so I think if you're a young lad and you've got half of Africa who wants you sold. Probably a quarter of your so-called British support base that want you sold. And then your club's not coming to the table with a contract, and they spent the last transfer window trying to sell you. How would that affect you? Seriously, try and take your Chelsea, and he is Chelsea through and through. Try and take your Chelsea hat off. How would that affect you if you were a professional footballer? So watch this space. I think Conor Gallagher will be sold for pure profit, and they'll say we've got enough to cover him in midfield. That's my own personal thoughts on it. Do I want him sold? Definitely not. I think we'd be stupid. But that wouldn't be the first time that we've been stupid as a football club, would it? Okay, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. And, yeah. And please subscribe to the channel and throw the video a like. It really does help me. And the channel's growing slowly but surely, which is great. And I love hearing your opinions, whether we agree or whether we disagree. Thanks for watching. Up to Chelsea.